years to start out 2019. We got a good program for you. But I'd like to start out with a moment of silence.
It's okay.
Last week, we lost somebody that's been very important in our community. That's Josephine Torres. She was the director for the Bacan Center in West Dallas for many years, very active in the West Dallas Community Center. So we can take just a few moments of silence for Josephine Torres, who's funeral is today. Thank you. All right. We have several elected officials in the audience today and candidates. So Delma, if you can bring me up, whoever you have. But I'm going to start recognizing the ones that I see here. State Senator Royce West is in the house today. Dallas County Commissioner Dr. Eva Garcia. Judge Juan Hasso. Dallas City Council Member Omar Navides. Dallas City Council Member Adam Medrano. CISD Trustee Ivan Pickerton. Jeff Strader. All right. There's any other elected officials. And of course, our own former Dallas County Sheriff, Lupe Valdez.
You got Judge Luther in the house, too.
All right. Judge. He's elected criminal district judge, Dallas County. And I got Lupe Garza. Assistant Chief Garza is in the house. All right, if I missed you, go ahead and just submit your information. Hold on a second. I got some more names, but I need some more information. Okay. Our first speaker today, we got, I don't know how many of y'all know, but we have a mayor's race and city council race coming up in May. And you might be kind of elected out after November, but local elections are more important really than what's happening at the national level. It's what determines your police department, determines the quality of schools, issues like that. And so with us today, we have several candidates who are running for mayor of Dallas as well as for city council. And then we also have some advocates who are fighting and dealing with community struggles that are happening in our community regarding healthcare and medical treatment. But our first speaker today is somebody I've known for a long time. He is a graduate from the University of Texas at Dallas in 1982. He earned his MBA from the Cox School of Business at Southern Methodist University. He started his own business and became president and CEO of On Target Supplies and Logistics. He served on multiple boards and commissions, the Park South YMCA, the Black Chamber of Commerce. He's been appointed to multiple boards and commissions by Dallas Mayor Ron Kirk and Governor Richards. Let's give a big hand to Albert Black, candidate for mayor of Dallas.
I appreciate everybody for being here. I am excited about the turnout.
Mike to the mouth.
I'm really excited about the turnout. It's a big group today. To come out and hear the candidates part of this forum is an exciting program for all of us. Let me talk a little bit about who I am and what I'd like to be able to be for you. My name is Albert Black. My wife's name is Gwen. We've been involved in this lifelong love affair all of our lives. We've been together since we were just children. At a very young age, we started a business, On Target Supplies and Logistics. We've grown that company over the years. We've employed people. We've improved infrastructure here in North Oak Cliff. We've added to the tax base. And we've developed leadership that has been deployed in communities that has benefited ours and has benefited yours. It really has been a good company. When you look at the companies that we've been a part of for the last 36 years and take a look at the diversity that we've achieved, people ask, how did we achieve such extraordinary diversity? We say, well, we tried to. We tried to achieve that kind of diversity. We've been a company that believes that the way this mayoral panel is shaping up now, with rich diversity of different backgrounds, ideals, beliefs, and the kind of vision for the future, is the way that we built our company. And so I'm looking forward to this great debate with Mr. Casto and my friend Regina Montoya. I hope we keep this thing on a high road, and that we give the citizens of Dallas, starting now, the kind of debate that you're looking for. Here's what you can look for from me. Together, we've got to determine, what is Fair Park going to look like in the future? Take a look at Fair Park today and just know that whatever you're thinking, it's not going to look anything like that in the future. A neighborhood that Northwest and I grew up in, Senator, it's not going to look like that anymore. We're going to have high-rise living. We're going to have exciting entertainment. We're going to have the type of retail that people actually use. We're going to have restaurants that people want to come to. We're going to have transportation in and out of citizens. We've got to determine what Fair Park looks like and other parks programs around our city. So that's a lot of work to do. We've got to determine how we're going to incorporate healthcare into the communities that need it the most. We know it can be done. Over in the Frayser area of Dallas, we've done some exciting work in healthcare. Because of the positions that I've had at Baylor Healthcare System, we've been able to incorporate healthcare in a community with the Diabetes Health and Wellness Institute, which is the best funded diabetes institute in the United States today. We feel real good about that because of the kind of cooperation we've had from Senator West and other leaders in this room. We know that that creates a proliferation of healthcare leadership in communities. More importantly, I'm looking forward to working with transportation. We've got great big transportation initiatives that we've got to get done. That's going to be job created today, tomorrow, and in the future. For the next 15 to 20 years, we've got an opportunity to have a job creator that will put every person in your family that's qualified and every person in my family that's qualified for the next 2 generations. Will that be incorporated with the type of economies that's representative of the kind of diversity that we're looking for? If so, we'll be building a Dallas, Texas that we can all be proud of. But we've got some challenges. We've got some challenges with our police department, a police department that feels demoralized. They don't feel good about the jobs that they have. The repair work that we've done so far, they don't think it's enough. They think we have a long way to go. And so we've got a lot of work to do with that police department, and I'm looking forward to bringing some of those ideas together. Fire department, no different. There has to be something to address compensation, but there's also something about recruitment that we've got to do. You know, I'm looking forward to trade missions that'll take us all over the world if I'm elected your mayor. But some of the first trade missions that I want to do is some of the nearby cities around our city, nearby places. And we want to invite people that have left our city over the years. We want to ask them, come on back to Dallas, Texas. Come on back here where we love you. Because we're seeing this exodus of middle-class families out of Dallas, Texas, because they no longer think it's affordable to live here. We're seeing families that feel stuck here, that don't think that they can beautify their neighborhoods. We've got to have programming in place that can help them beautify their neighborhoods so they can stay in Dallas and we never leave them in the first place. There is a whole book, a set of volumes 1, 2, and 3 of ideas and related policies that I'm looking forward to rolling out during this election season. I'm looking forward to sharing with you individually, small groups, large groups, or even auditorium. If you invite us, we'll come. This is a very important endeavor. I've retired from my job. We've sold off our interest. We don't believe that you should have a sitting mayor with the conflict of interest of sitting down as the mayor and running private business interests at the same time. We've seen it go on. In my opinion, it doesn't work very well.
No, it doesn't.
And I'm not going to put you in that particular circumstance. My wife, Juanita, and I have looked in the cigar box. And thank God, the city of Dallas, good friends and family, employees that have made our career, friends like Senator West and others in the room, has afforded us the kind of opportunities that we can set our business affairs aside and work for this city. When it comes to a civic resume, if experience counts, no one in this election will have the civic resume that I've got. The Honorable Domingo Garcia mentioned some things, but I tell you what, they were only a few. All my life, I have served you. I want you to believe in Dallas, Texas. I want you to know that I believe in you. I like to work very, very hard for you to believe in me. My name is Albert Black. I'd like to be your mayor, and I'm going to work like the Dickens if you have that confidence. Thank you very much.
Well, we're going to have the first 3 candidates for mayor speak, and then we'll do Q&A after we all speak, okay? Okay, our next speaker is one of the first Latinas to earn her degree from Harvard Law School. And she also she has served on numerous boards and commissions. She was appointed by President Clinton to serve as the Director of the Office for Intergovernmental Affairs during the Clinton administration. She served as a U.S. representative for the 3rd session of the Central Assembly of the United Nations. She served as the Federal Counsel for Children's Medical Center, the 7th largest pediatric health care center in the country. She served on numerous boards and commissions, including chairing the Dallas Mayor's Rawlings Task Force on Poverty, and was also served on the vice chair of the Board of Directors of Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Let's give a big hand to mayoral candidate Regina Montoya.
It is to be with all of you again this morning. As many of you know, I have spoken several times to this group. One time as the chair of the board of MALDA, the Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, who is so instrumental in working against SB 4. In addition, I came to speak to you as the chair of the Mayor's Task Force on Poverty to tell you about the issues that are confronting 100,000 children in Dallas who live in poverty every single day. But I want today to tell you a little bit about who I am, what I'm doing, and why I am running for mayor of this incredible city, and with your support, the opportunity to run one of the best cities in America. I would submit the best city. But let me tell you this, just a little bit about who I am. I am a granddaughter of immigrants, and I have a painting, just a little picture that is outside of my bedroom in my hallway. It is where my grandfather grew up. You see, my grandfather went into coal mines at the age of 13. He dropped out of school when he was very young. My grandparents who came here from Mexico also had very limited education. But my dad, through his hard work, serving in World War II, he's 95 years old, working on my campaign, by the way, as hard as he can. He's a World War II veteran. And he went to school on the GI Bill. And he and my mother, who went back to school to get her degree, and who then came and taught at Thomas Jefferson High School, taught English as a second language for many years, was one of the first Latinas who had that kind of position at TJ. They are the ones that have inspired me. And every day I come out into that hallway and I look at that little tiny house that they lived in. And that is what inspires me about what Dallas is all about and what we need to achieve. Because I'm not going to forget where I came from. I'm not going to forget the people that need the help, that need the foundation, that need the support of those that can make a difference for them in their lives. I want to tell you a little story about a man and a little boy who were putting a puzzle together one day on a Sunday afternoon. The dad was trying to get some work done, so he kind of broke up a National Geographic little puzzle piece, and he split it apart, and it was of the world. And he asked his little 3-year-old to put this little puzzle together, and he thought this would give him some time to do some of his work. And so his son started trying to put the puzzle of the world together, and it's taking him some time. But then, all of a sudden, a few minutes later, the little boy has scotch taped these big pieces together, shows it to his dad, and says, "Look at Dad, what I've done, the puzzle of the world." But actually, his dad is saying, "This is an amazing child. How could he do this?" What the little boy had done is he had turned the pieces of that world to the other side, and they were pieces of faces of people. And he said, "Dad, it was a lot easier to put the pieces of people together than it was to put the world together." And that's what we're going to be doing in this campaign, and what we want to do in the future is to talk about the pieces of the people. This is what Dallas is all about. Sure, we're about the stadium, sure, we're about the buildings, sure, we're about the parks, but at the end of the day, it's about the people in Dallas. And that's what this campaign, that's what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to be focusing on the issues that I spent years on as the chair of the Mayor's Task Force on Poverty. We're going to reduce child poverty. We are going to ensure that people are able to get their homes together. We are going to make transportation work for people. I remember going down to the DART board meeting and asking them, "Why are you raising the fees for people to take the DART buses by 20% in one fell swoop, when we have half of the people in Dallas earning less than $50,000 a year?" I told them, "Do you know what that means to people? It means that on Fridays, because you have added an extra $5 a week to their transportation costs, some people won't have lunch that day." That's what the kinds of issues that we're going to be having to deal with. But people don't understand that. They don't recognize those issues. We're also going to be talking about the other kinds of issues, our neighborhoods. We have a huge number of neighborhoods all across the city, in every single city council district, that has greater percentages of concentrated poverty, 30% of neighborhood concentrated poverty. We have to stop that. This is a city that has reaped the dividends off working people in this community. People in this room who have worked so hard to ensure that Dallas would be the greatest city in the country. Now we've got to meet our people halfway and provide the services for them that they so richly deserve and earn. That's what this is going to be about. And that's why this election is going to be one of the most important elections of a mayoral election that you have seen in Dallas in decades. We are at a tipping point. 50% of our people are living at $50,000 or less. The lowest median income of any of the big cities of Texas. The lowest number of people owning their own homes of any of the big cities in Texas. And did I mention the 100,000 children living in poverty? This must stop. And we're going to put the plans together and work with the community to ensure that we deal with those issues. That's what we're all about. Talking about what we need to do. Just yesterday, I had a reporter ask me. He said, "Well, is Dallas ready for a Latina mayor of Dallas?" And I said, "Yes." But more importantly, I said, Dallas is ready for an extraordinarily experienced mayor. A mayor who has spent their adult life in Dallas working on the issues that confront all of us every day. A mayor who has worked in the healthcare area, who has been an educator, who has had experience as an attorney, has had experience with nonprofits like MALDEF, like Child Care Group, like Girls Inc. That is what Dallas is looking for. May turn out that that package includes a Latina and a woman, but that is what Dallas deserves. The most experienced mayor with the kinds of experience that can make a difference. I have served on numerous boards, starting from the Cultural Affairs Commission. I have served on all of the museum boards. I have served on the nonprofit boards. I have been advisors to the Chamber of Commerce, you name it. But what has been the most important has been the opportunity to listen to each of one of you about the issues that are important to all of us. And that's what this campaign is going to be about, and that's what I pledge to each of you. We have several of our staff members here, and they've got my card with them. If you'd like to learn more about our campaign, please look for them. But also, that card has my cell phone number on it. I'm not changing my cell phone number. So you're going to have that cell phone number if I am so honored, if you honor me with your vote and I'm elected mayor. I will return your phone calls. I will be there for you when you need a mayor to answer your call. So with that, I just want to thank all of you for that opportunity. The other part of what that reporter said to me as well was, are they ready for the Latina mayor? Well, let me tell you this. The they are each one of you in this group. Each one of you is the they. You can be that person that votes. You can be the person that volunteers in our campaign. You can be that person that gets our yard signs, that gets our bumper stickers. But most importantly, you can be that person that makes a difference in municipal politics in Dallas. Don't let they vote for you. You vote for yourselves. Muchísimas gracias por la oportunidad de estar con ustedes. Gracias.
All right, our next candidate for mayor is actually no stranger to City Hall. For 26 years, he was the chief lobbyist for the city of Dallas in Austin, taking up our legislative issues in Austin. In 2016, he was appointed to be the Dallas city attorney for the city of Dallas, and he helped to get Dallas out of its issues regarding bankruptcy for the failing police and fire pension fund. He settled a decades-old lawsuit regarding a pay referendum for police officers, and he resolved a dispute with the Sabine River Authority, preserving a major water supply for the citizens of Dallas for generations to come. He is a native of Sweetwater, Texas. He's married, and he has his home in North Oak Cliff. Let's give a big hand to Larry Castro.
Mike to the mouth.
Better? Okay. The first thing is, I'm so excited for this city that we have the quality of candidates and the discourse that we started off with. We have gotten so ugly in this country, we've got to get away from that war. Before I go any further, I made a bad mistake. This campaign has done nothing but get me in trouble. At my announcement for mayor, I was so nervous and it kind of rambled on. I forgot to introduce and thank the most important person in my life, much smarter and harder working than me, is my wife. Amy Casto is back with her. I hope you get to know her. I will never make that mistake again. But also, Domingo, Dr. Garcia, you kind of got me in trouble today. I got the invitation, thank you so much, to appear before this group this morning. And in a campaign for mayor, it has already started off hot and heavy. Every day is morning to sundown. Every day, meeting after meeting. And I had a function this morning, I already scheduled. And I'm in trouble with my campaign consultant. What a world this campaign business is. But she said, you gotta go. You gotta go to this meeting because it's actually a function, they're gonna be handing you checks. And you gotta go. It's money. And I said, have you seen my campaign platform? I got to go. See my brothers and sisters in Oak Cliff. This city's future depends upon what y'all do today. This campaign fundraiser that I'm missing, as Domingo pointed out, I came in as city attorney 2 years ago. This city was facing some bad issues. One of the things I did, not once but twice, was leave this city with the help of city council out of bankruptcy. There are people who would have lost a lot of money if this city faced a financial collapse. Those people are appreciative. They owe me, I don't owe them. Those checks will be waiting. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. I'm not running for them. I am running because of some things already mentioned. And I'm glad they were pointed out. I just want to, this whole bragging about yourself, I'm a little uneasy with. I guess got to get better. Senate Bill 4, that horrible, atrocious bill, I just want to remind everybody, when the city council was sort of paralyzed around the politics of that, it's my name on that petition to knock down that horrible bill and challenge it. We don't need that kind of device in this state. Fair Park, 2 weeks into my administration, I ruled we cannot hand that park over to someone from Park City. I have served this city for 27 years, it's all I know. But we have a bigger challenge. It was mentioned, we are seeing an exodus from our city. Is this yours? People are moving to Frisco, Prosper, McKinney, and we are losing. And here's the despicable position that current law puts us in. Many of our neighborhoods, especially the ones to the west and the south of the river, are in the position we want the same things that other neighborhoods have. We want the amenities, we want the infrastructure, we want the wealth, we want the schools. And if you get them, you're priced out of your home. You have to go. If you get them, your businesses that have served the community for decades, the rent goes up too high, we say you got to leave. And it's the only way we know how to do things. We let a neighborhood bottom out, a developer comes in, a banker comes in and says, we're going to buy your property, we're going to put nice new shiny things, and if you can afford $3,000 a month, you're welcome to stay. If you can't, there's Garland, Mesquite, Grand Prairie, DeSoto. We cannot survive on that model at all.
Are all of those houses condemned over there?
Do what?
Wait till I finish.
Right. And so we have got to change that model. The future of our city depends upon doing what's right by our neighborhoods. The current model is this. You get to make money in this country. You get to make money if you have a product, a service, a new idea, a better mousetrap. You have oil in your land. You get to make money unless you live in a neighborhood that others want. There are more than 10,000 acres in this city with a view of the skyline, 10 minutes from downtown, and there are people who want it. The current law says you cannot profit from that. That's egregious. This is all I'm about, is a plan. I had a plan to save this city from bankruptcy. I had a plan to get this city back on its track. The last thing I have to offer to this city is a plan. I spent 4 months this summer staying up till midnight in my office, coming up with the driest read you'll ever see. Senator West, we're going to be talking about it. It gets down to the comma, the paragraph, the subsection. Do what no other city in this country has done. And that is to put the power in your hands. Neighborhoods like the one I live in and you live in, not the mayor, not the city council, not the school board, not the county, in your hands. We increase that power, disperse it down, and you build the community you want to build. Bring the investment in. Bring those who are going to Frisco back to Dallas. You get to stay there and you get to profit from it. It's never been done, and it is a plan.
I'm curious about that plan.
Progress is a negotiation. Now let's get a little serious. Who makes money tomorrow is just a negotiation. That's not a secret. The key is who is at the table and what size chair they sit at. And I mean this with all respect and admiration and love for my brothers and sisters in the Hispanic and African American community. It is up to you to demand that seat. You've been asking for 50 years and it hasn't been given to you in this city. You need to unite around the plan. That is the only thing I know. We can't keep saying the same thing over and over and over and going backwards and backwards. It's not going to work, and we're going to lose this city if we don't empower others who have never been empowered with a plan. I have the plan. It is all I have ever done my whole life for this city. I am owed after what I have done. Going back to that fundraiser I had this morning, it's like a chip. They owe me. I am offering that chip to you in this mayor's race. I give it to you. You have to unite around a plan. You can't just talk anymore. That is the one thing I have left in this city. That's why I'm running for mayor. My name is Larry Casper, and I'm not running to have the word mayor in front of my name. That does not inspire me. That's not what excites me. I am running to put this city back on its wheels in a way that has never been done, lest we go the path of Detroit and Oakland. That is what the free market says we have to do as a city. We go through this cycle, and I won't have it. Thank you.
All right, now we're going to have questions from the audience. Remember our LULAC rules. Be respectful. Stay on issues. Don't attack personalities. I don't expect that to happen, but sometimes you have people that are excited. So make sure you're respectful to our guests. Make sure you're respectful to our everybody in attendance. And so keep the questions again on issues and not on personalities.
Thank you for being here, candidates. My name is Cydney Walker. I'm with LULAC. And I have two questions. And the first one is, do any of you have in your plan for the city to have a Latino museum at Fair Park? Because we don't have one. And the second one is, what are you going to do about gentrification and getting rid of all those investors that are kicking the people out, as you were saying, sir, to the suburbs? Because we're not going to make Dallas great again if we don't take care of this business.
So I'm going to give it to you, then they'll pass it to the next one.
Let me take absolutely. Fair Park is on track now, but we got to do it right. We've started that process with an entity selected by the city in a fair, democratic, competitive way. So, yes, I think it's critical that we have a Latino community center here. That was kind of a no-brainer. Let me talk about the bigger one. And I'm so glad you brought it up because that's the issue. That is what will save this city. I don't mean to be presumptuous. I think I'm the only one who has spent 4 months opening up the law books and understanding what it takes to keep dislocation and gentrification from destroying our neighborhoods. Make no mistake about it, I do not have a magic wand to create money. You need investment. You can't tax your way there. You can't raise money your way there. All right? You need the $4 billion that is leaving this city and going outside back into Dallas. But you need it in a way that profits you and you get to stay there.
There's nothing wrong with gentrification. If no one can pay them, the prices go down.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in us all living together. Sometimes I get a little angry that under the current rules, if you're this color, you live in this neighborhood. If you make this much money, you live in this neighborhood. I do not feel my children and my daughters have the full experience of life under the way we currently do. I could spend an hour going into details about
This neighborhood is
90 pages.
self-segregated.
Okay,
There are
can we
families.
let him
Finally,
They've been here. They married
What?
for
please make
What?
him, yeah.
fundamentally, what we need to do is look at this. Understand why it is illegal right now to actually do the thing that you just said. To share the wealth, to not get kicked out of your homes, to not lose your businesses when you bring money in. The plan is to bring every local taxing jurisdiction to the table, not just the city, because the math doesn't work. You've got to have the city, the school district, the county, and the public transportation department, all with their resources. A lot of politicians talk a good game, but then they say, when you say, I need you at the table too, they say, no, that's the city's job. This is beyond what any mayor can do or city council member. You've got to have the new wealth created, invested in a way that can freeze your property taxes, subsidize the rent of historical businesses, and the city can't do that on its own. The second thing, and critical, is to disperse that new power to the neighborhood and community leader level. It's got to be in your hands, not mine. So I don't want to take up others' time talking about what's in 90 pages, but that's what I did this summer, and I am excited to talk to any of you, to show you what it is, to go down to Austin. It lays out a blueprint for every community leader, every council member, every board member, every commissioner, every senator, and every state representative, what our lift is and what our responsibility is. It's a plan.
Has anyone been working on in the past decade?
Thank you so much. Mr. Castro, I hope the plan is modified with a great more degree of sensitivity than I hear this morning. I don't think the city of Dallas, its residents, or anybody around here owes you anything. And I think we should all resent that as citizens. I know that as a lifelong citizens of Dallas, Texas, I certainly want to work with you. I'd like to accomplish a whole lot of things with you. But if you believe I owe you something, I think the attitude is going to have to be adjusted. I'm looking forward to the adjustments that you'll make, I'll make, and the rest of us as candidates will make in this particular race. What we've got, again, is fair parking. The question was asked, will there be a cultural center dedicated to Latino, Hispanic, Chicano culture? And I'm saying to you, if it can be the very best in the United States of America, yes. But if it's something we've had before, let's hold out. Let's insist that nothing goes forward. Let's make sure that we band together and make sure that the Latino Cultural Center that we build this time is something that we're not looking forward to building again just a few years later. It wasn't that far long ago, y'all, that we were all working to build the Latino Cultural Center over on Live Oak. Do you remember the time? What happened? Now what we need to do is to make sure that this bond offer of $330 million with another $330 million in infrastructure can be employed toward what people want here. Again, this is another something that I'm disagreeing with good counsel. I'm disagreeing with the fact that the rules, the laws, the way is keeping people from staying here in their homes without modifications by the lawmakers from here to there. People's injection into the American dream will keep them in the neighborhoods that they want to be in. When you can become a part of that American dream like my wife and I have, to raise a family, to own a business, to grow and prosper, to have friends and develop rich relationships outside of the community like Fraser Courts that Royce and I grew up in. I think that is the kind of, let's give them a hand, everybody. I think that is the kind of vibrant kind of city that Dallas can produce, that produce people like Regina Montoya, that produce people like Larry Castro, that produce the great leaders of our city. That's who we are. That's who we can be. That's what we'll need to do. So that's the answer that I have to the two questions that were given, and I hope they're sufficient.
Thank you for those great questions, and let me begin with the first one about the Latino Museum as well. Yes, it is incredibly important for our children to know the history of Dallas and where they have lived. They need to know about Pancho Medrano and what it was like in Pikes Park when Latinos couldn't swim in the swimming pools because Mexicans weren't supposed to be in there until the end of the week, but then they could get rid of the water. We need to remember Little Mexico and what it was like, and the vibrancy, and the people on whose shoulders we stand. So yes, I would be in total support of this as well.
Okay.
But I would also mention that on the gentrification issue, you know, this didn't start yesterday. This didn't even start in the 2000s. It started in the 80s. When you started seeing many of the people who had lived in Dallas moving to the north and moving to the south. Who came in? The Latinos. If there had not been the increase of Hispanics coming into Dallas, Dallas would have lost population. The only big city in Dallas would have lost population. So thank you to those who have come to Dallas to make the difference for Dallas. So as I said before, we need to meet people where they are. These are wonderful plans that we're hearing about that could take forever to do and could take a long time. We are at a tipping point in Dallas. We need to ensure that people have the opportunities to buy their homes, to keep their homes. We need to raise the median income so that our property taxes can be reduced as well. That is one of the big problems that we're facing in our city right now, is that even if you are in one of your homes, that you get priced out after a certain point. So we have to be sensitive, not just by one thing or two things. This is what I would call working together on many issues. And you're going to have to be focused, and you're going to have to understand all of the issues. We can't be single issue people on what we're talking about in Dallas. I wish we had that silver bullet, but we don't. This is who we are now. Let's deal with who we are now, and let's make sure that we put the policies in place, working together with the county, working together with the DISD, working together with the hospital districts, everything we can to make life better and a quality of life better for our citizens here in Dallas who made that response, who actually made the commitment to live in our city and never moved away. That's who we owe that kind of real contributions and thanks to. Thank you.
I'm going to take two more questions, but I'm going to ask the candidates, you can keep your response to 1 minute.
Thank you, Menudo. First question goes directly to Larry, and then the second part goes to all three of you guys. So, why step down as a city attorney to put in a plan to make the city better and not follow the Detroit plan where the city is completely bankrupt? And for all three of you, people like myself get excluded from participating in the city politics outside of me doing my show. Don't serve on any boards, committees, because I'm not part of any clique. I'm not part of the in-crowd that everybody follows. So what are you going to do to get people like myself engaged and actually involved in turning the city around?
So let me get with your second question. I thought a lot about that. You know, one of the reasons that we are here now and that we so desperately, all of us, are going to be asking you for your vote and support, is that Dallas, of 50 big cities in America, has the lowest voter turnout of any big city in Texas. I mean, in the country. So we need to engage our population more, and we need to get you the message. So some of the first things I'm going to do. Right now, if you want to hear what the mayor wants to talk about in the state of the city or the state of North Dallas, you have to go to a chamber event. They're usually at breakfast, they're usually at lunch. The minimum amount it costs is probably $50, but most of them are closer to $100. And that doesn't even include parking. Get that. It doesn't even include parking. I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to have the state of the city speeches for free. I'm going to do them before they go to the Chamber of Commerce for $75 and $100. That is the kind of transparency that we're going to need. The other part of it is, maybe some of you have heard of this amazing thing called the internet. Well, here's what you can do. You can use a camera like this one, and you can put it and live stream it for free for people to be able to hear what it is that are the issues, and then to ask for your help and support. That's the kind of new media that I want to see to try to level the playing field for everyone. There should be no cliques in this city. The city belongs to each one of you. It is not a they issue. It is a you issue. And that's going to be the center of how I would like to see us respond to the concerns that people have and to get you engaged. Thank you.
I did see Council Member Kevin Fielder that did come in, so want to make sure we recognize him. Kevin Fielder. You know, one of the things that we have here in Dallas that I think is a real advantage when it's time for us to make work is a 14-1 form of government. And I think mayors going forward will have to focus a lot more on working with the 14 committed servants of the Dallas City Council to get the absolute very best out of the body corpus. You know, serving as mayor sounds real good, and we talk like we're going to come in and we're going to rule the roost. But the fact of the matter is, we're only going to be as good as the council at large. And so one of the things that we're running on, and we started doing this back in July, is good governance. We believe that more than anything else, better than any plan that can be concocted, all the midnight oil burning that you can have in creating plans, what you can do is understand the history of Dallas, understand where we are today, understand where we need to be, and understand the human assets. Regina has put it about people. The people that you have to work with on that council in order to make it all work. I'm wanting to listen. I'm wanting to learn. I'm wanting to adjust. There are so many things coming out of business that I've had to adjust to. It's because the way they work in business and the way that they work in government are so different that I'm not going to be able to do it the same. That's the reason I announced on July 21. I wasn't coy. I didn't hide behind the curtain. I didn't stay in some smoke-filled room. What I did is came out and let you know I wanted to be your mayor as soon as I got permission from my wife. As soon as she said go, I let you know that I wanted to be your mayor, and I hope to join our council. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question. First, let me just say.
Mike to the mouth.
Thank you. Let me just first say, respectfully so, do not disagree with Mr. Blackmore. Just look at the map. Look at where concentration of wealth is. Look at those color-coded maps out of City Hall that says where those who have benefited disproportionately are and where those who haven't lived. There are people who have benefited much more so than others in this city, and they owe you. They owe our neighborhoods, they owe Mr. Black, they owe Ms. Montoya, they owe me. This city's got to wake up to the fact that we are all one and we need to share equally in the fruits of our labor. That is a fact. I just disagree with Mr. Black on that. Why did I quit? Why did I resign from the city attorney? It was time. It was time to do something bigger. I stopped being the legislative director of the city and took the job as city attorney when the council was facing some crisis. And they said, Larry, you're the one who has worked with all parties, people of all colors, at all levels of government. We need a plan, or we're going to risk a financial collapse. We addressed those problems, and when the numbers came clear to me this summer that this city does not have long, the window is short for us to do something bold and quickly as a city. It was a very hard decision. My family and I weighed what it was like. There were great opportunities. People said, baseball, what you've done, Larry, why don't you go do something else, maybe make some money. And that's hard to turn down. But I just decided with my wife that this city is too important to both of us and our family. It is all I have ever known in my professional career. And I did not want to leave anything on the table if I had something to offer. It was a hard decision. It was very hard. I loved it. And I loved my job. And I just thought, here's a message, here's a plan. I'm going to put it out there. Regardless who ends up being mayor, I think they ought to take a hard look at why we haven't moved the needle. And get into the weeds on what we need to do. That's what I did. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about a plan, regardless of who grades it or makes fun of it. It's the only thing I know left to do. Thank you.
Good morning. The question for the candidates is to message for undocumented residents. I know the city of Dallas has an office that the name is Welcoming Community and Affairs. When this office started, I called, they transferred my phone call to the immigration office. If I were undocumented, I will verify. So what do you plan to do for undocumented residents? They in Texas, they live here, they have children that are US citizens, and they have a care to go work, to go to school, to go to doctors. Have you thinking on them, on your campaign? If you were mayor, what you going to do for them? My name is Cydney Walker.
I think Dallas is founded as a sanctuary city, and nothing has changed. I think when people came here, they came here seeking something of safety, security. I think our police officers, our sheriff department, I think our federal law enforcement should all be reminded of our Constitution. All understand where we are in authority. The city of Dallas has no place in immigration enforcement. I think we need to see our way out of that particular responsibility. It is not the city of Dallas. To get in that responsibility, I think we're denying citizens the right kind of representation and security that municipal government should afford. I'm not an attorney. I can't quote you the statute, the laws, federal-wise or local. I can tell you this, that you can't elect a mayor more committed to that sanctuary status than I would be. Wow. I'd like to be able to have that particular opportunity. There's too many people in my life that look like you, that look like Larry, Regina, and myself, that all need to know that we're living in a fair society that is good to people. And based on the merit and the content of their characters, that they're able to progress in society without the fear of being mistreated. Senator West, it wasn't long ago before you and I and people like our ancestors had to walk down the street with papers to prove that we had the right to walk down that street. It wasn't that long ago. So I think we keep that in mind as we debate this sanctuary matter. And that we work individually, Mr. President of LULAC. We have to work individually to convince our neighbors that don't think like we do. We have to convince them of the merit of the security that they enjoy. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that we're living in a society that people don't feel like their liberties are being closed on. I hope that rests well with you, because anything else doesn't rest well with me.
what is it within our power to do. Mr. Black is right. There is a major component of immigration law that resides with the federal government, and they are paralyzed, and it's unacceptable. First and foremost, the words that come out of our mouth are very important at the local level. How we treat, how we respect people, and the tone that we use as decent human beings. You've got to talk like your heart means you love people. That's important. Maybe one day we get those guys in D.C. to move in the right direction. Locally, I was the one, again, that challenged the constitutionality of SB 4. That was within my power to do. I told my legal
Moving in
team,
the right direction.
we
You
put
want
in
more aid
motion,
in Texas?
Stop
That's all
it.
it is.
we put in motion
Wasting it all the time.
the means to issue a city ID
Perfect
card.
venue.
So that if you're a resident of any kind, you had the means to access city services. I had that within my means to do. Beyond that, we have to make a plea to the decency and righteousness of people above to do the right thing.
They're a piece of shit too.
As the chair of the Mayor's Task Force on Poverty, we had a number of recommendations. And let me share with you something that a lot of people didn't know when we first started. Dallas is 25% foreign born. 43% of Dallas speaks another language other than English. And there was no concept when we started this about the diversity of our incredible city. One of the very first recommendations that we made was to include an Office of Welcoming Communities and Immigrant Affairs. Many of you know Liz Cedillo Perea. She has spoken to this group in the past. And I was very supportive of this. Brought this issue up to the mayor. Dallas was like the 27th city in the United States to even have an office. There were places like Columbus, Ohio, that had task forces and offices for the new immigrant community. And so this was something that under our task force recommendations, through the support of many of you in this room, that we were able to ensure that we had that office. Now, on the issues of SB4 and others, this is where we as citizens can make that difference. Yes, maybe the city attorney's office could have finally decided on that, but why did it take so long? San Antonio was there before hiring Malda. We were there as the advocates, ensuring that the voices of the voiceless were being heard. As was mentioned, you can get, and I would support, the multi-use identification card. That is critical for our citizens to be able to access the services in our community that, as you rightly said, they pay for. So I will continue on that. Let me tell you, that has been in some parts of our city not so well received. Well, again, think about who lives in our city, and we just need to make the services available and easier to access by every member of our community. Thank you.
Okay, Renato, go ahead.
I have a very quick question, and my question is, if you are elected as mayor, you will be part of the process and overseeing the redistricting process that will happen after the next census. Are you willing to make a commitment that the plurality of voters in this community, that are the community that's Latino, will be well represented at that portion, at that city hall? Are we going to get the representation that we need? Would you push for that? Would you make that commitment?
And again, do not interrupt any of the speakers. Let them finish the speech. Don't heckle. That's not what we do here. Respectful. I'm asking everybody to follow that rule. Barry, respond. Redistricting, what are you going to do about that?
Well, I see a lot of empty tables. Time's going. I mean, that's easy. In every governing body in a democracy, whether it's state, county, city, the members of that governing body should reflect the population that it serves. Period. There's no other way that a true democracy works. And I think the city of Dallas, its representation on the city council, should reflect the population and the demographics that it serves. That's easy.
I have nothing else to add with that, but we need to follow the rules.
And I would echo that, but I would also say this and urge all of you to think about this. You also have to meet the city halfway too. And that is why it's so important that you vote. That you go out and have your voice heard. And that's how your voice is going to be heard, is by voting. And so I just encourage all of you, as you think about how we're going to make that change, don't complain later on when you don't like what you're seeing around the horseshoe and you haven't voted. This is why it's so critical, and particularly for the Latino community, to get out there, vote, have your voice heard, and let people understand that that is a priority for all of us to be represented around the horseshoe in Dallas as well.
Last, I know we have a lot of questions. We have more speakers, so Hector, last one, and we gotta move on.
These are quality of life issues, but to all the, I guess, mayoral candidates, everything here has changed at the point of a federal court order. If you go back 15, 20, 30 years, whether it be the city of Dallas, with the fire department, with the police department, with the Dallas Independent School District, with the desegregation order that drove everybody out of the city, basically, to private schools and others. So I guess, what are you going to do as a mayor? Two issues. One that's very important to our community is the strength of the police department right now, where they're short like 500 people. What's going to be done to bring them up to snuff? Number two, you have about 19 to 21 kids, which basically gives tax abatements to developments in our community, which adds to the tax base, which is great. But what about creating affordable housing with those same tax abatements? Why are we doing that more so that poor people, as was mentioned, we have one of the highest concentrations of poor people in the country, particularly young people. And so what are you going to do to change those two factors in our community to get that quality of life that everybody deserves? Thank you.
I think the best thing the three of us can do is listen to you. You gave the answers. The comments that you made will certainly be a part of the answers that I think the council as a body can certainly work with. If Dallas has demonstrated over and over and over again that we'll put our money where our interest is. If our interest is drawing large corporations, and it should be, I'm certainly pro-business. If our interest is there, and we've demonstrated over and over again that we can make that model successful, well then we can certainly attract citizens that's looking for revenue to have their homes. I think it's two areas of our market that we need to really focus on at home. One,
You think people have money to bring in?
I'm not calling it affordable housing, I'm calling it first family. First family housing. That's housing between that $175 to that $300,000 level, and then at mid-market, that 300 level to that probably that around that $600 level. That's where the studies are showing that we are suffering the most in. I think that the bond program last time, as head of the subcommittee on housing, we recommended that to the overall bond committee and the council. When that recommendation got to the council, it was summarily rejected. What we have to have is better communication so that good ideas, like the ones that you have, and like the ones that our committee submitted, actually see the light of day. So thank you for your ideas and thinking. That's where the work begins.
Why not turn those 400 lots that we own to bring first responders into those inner city communities? Why not give them a heads up and get them to build a home and live in those communities instead of living out of town, as an example?
I think that's a good idea if you add in that they can take their cars, police patrol cars home with them and make them even safer distance. Thank you so much, sir.
Now, an excellent question, and I would just mention that this is why you need to ensure that you have someone who can hit the ground running on these kinds of issues. When I first came to Dallas, I clerked for Judge Sarah T. Hughes and also did some work with Judge Barefoot Sanders. Names you all may not remember, but they were the judges that worked on the desegregation issues. They were the ones that worked on the jail issues. So I understand how important it is that we are able to work with all of the different entities on these issues. And it's absolutely the case. Other cities have been able to grapple with the issues of affordable housing, of first home housing, whichever one you'd like to call on that. And it will be important for us to understand how we better use our land bank, how we better use these TIFs, because we have done the plans already in Dallas. It's called the Resilience Plan. It is called the Equity Plan. Let's put them into effect. No more studies. We know what we need to do. These are perfect examples. Let's get people who have the will and the way to ensure that that is getting done. And that is how we're going to solve some of these intractable problems that we see before us. They're only intractable if we study them and don't do something about them. Now is that tipping point. We absolutely have to make that kind of difference for the quality of life of so many of our residents here in Dallas. Thank you.
Sir, I need to ask you whether you somehow found a way to get a secret copy of the plan, or would you be my general counsel? That's exactly the point. Right now, under current law, a TIF as designed operates to the benefit of the banker and the developer. That's it. Your hands are tied. Look at the recent debates at City Council. You got two ways to go. Let a neighborhood bottom out, they come in, build nice shiny things and price everybody out, or you do like the Ridgecrest proposed project. You come in and put low income on top of poverty and guarantee that that neighborhood stays in poverty for the next 30 years. We have no in between. 50 years, we haven't found something.
As they move toward the city,
Stop! Please!
What's the matter with you?
You're right. Another big moment in time is coming. We handled the police pension crisis, but we put a Band-Aid on it. In 5 years, there's going to be a reevaluation, and that's going to be expensive. You have got to build the tax base. Those police officers and firefighters have to feel confident. We got to provide incentives for them to be here, but they've got to feel that they're paid and their pension is secure. It was a heavy lift, but it's not done, and we better get serious about those realities. Building the tax base is going to be how we move forward on those big issues like police pay, housing incentives, and the pension fund. Those are not going away.
Let's do all the better.